So we've got another case for you. It's been a little while since we've even looked at a computer case or tower, whatever you want to call it. And today we're looking... Oh my God, this thing's heavy. The Fractal Design Vector RS. Okay, so as with all cases we've reviewed in the past, let's not try and stab myself with the sharp knife. Let's get this box open and see what is going on with this case. Now, this case is a bit special. So we haven't had any cases in for quite some time now. As you probably noticed, the last kind of cases we were getting were the Thermaltake ones. This one is specifically for a purpose. This isn't for us. This is going to go to our Severe Anxiety Charity PC giveaway PC that we've been working on for a long time now, since about January 2020. Holy moly. The accessory box. Okay, I'm going to put that down there in a moment. Yeah, so this is what that is for. Now, this case was provided to us by eBuyer, and I'll put a link in the video description down below. Oh, but this case. Oh God, this thing's heavy. Really excited to get this one open. Goodness, this is heavy. Right, where is the bottom? Ha! Static! It's been a while since I've got a static shot from a computer case.
How exciting.
Let's concentrate on getting this thing open. This thing is a little bit different. It's not, I mean, it's a standard E-ATX case, obviously. And you'll see that in a minute when we completely take it out. Oh, look at this. So let's see what we've got here. Now, I'm going to get shock again. I know it. I always get shock with these things. Okay. Problem with dark cases is that they're dark for one, and this is extra dark. And as you can see, it is exactly as it says on the tin. Dark. That is a pretty nice looking case. So as with all cases, we always start with the outside of the case and work our way to the inside. So on the front, if you can't, I'll put some B-roll and show this in a close-up shot. On the front, you've got, at the top, actually not on the front, this is the top. You've got power button to USB 3.0, USB 3 Type-C there, which is really nice to see, and that should be more, God, I'm out of breath taking this case out. It should be available in more cases these days, which you will have seen from other reviewers probably. You've got headphone and microphone. Actually, headphone and microphone, the other way around to what I've just told you. And that's either an RGB button or a reset button. Looks like an RGB button. I don't know, it might be a reset button. And we've got tempered glass on the top, so you can see from the top of your case down. As I said, eBuyer graciously, let's go with that one. eBuyer graciously donated this case to our charity PC build, which will be given away to someone. So you might also notice on the front, we've got, it's completely covered. Now it's a little bit clear. This is see-through? Yeah, that's possibly see-through, so you can see the RGB from inside. There is an RGB strip on the front here, all the way up, literally all the way up. And it goes along here, goes along the front up here, and it goes all the way up the back. Hopefully you can see that as well. And we'll see if we can get that lit up later on so you can see that at least. We're not going to be building into this case today because I don't have all the parts I need for that, but we are almost ready to start populating that, but it won't be in this video. That'll be for another video. But I thought I should show you guys what we've been given and what we're going to be using, because I quite like the look of this case. One thing I've noticed, as I've already said several times probably, it's quite heavy. Shipping is going to be quite interesting. Okie dokie, so we managed to get the front panel off. And I got to tell you, this thing is pretty weighty. I mean, I know it's got tempered glass on it and all that, but it hasn't got a lot of tempered glass on it, but it's still pretty weighty. And let's have a look at these intakes on here. So it looks like these come off. Press to release. There we go. So we've got filters on here that can be cleaned or just removed if you want pure airflow and you don't care about any dust entering the system. I'd probably leave these on if I were you. They don't look too bad, so they should be okay. But we will do some thermal testing anyway with these on and with these off, just to see how restrictive they actually are. Because you guys like all that kind of stuff, don't you? So we will probably do that when we build it as well. And obviously that's both sides. We've got the RGB bit here. So this is the RGB connector. You've got to be careful of these. It's quite easy to pull this off actually. I just needed to put a bit more force on it. So these connect to the front of the case. And let's show you up here. This is where it connects to. So the front fans in push configuration or pull, whichever way you want to look at it, and obviously one space down there for the extra fan or the 360 rad. Anyway, that's the front panel. So as we move on to the left side, obviously the entire side is tempered glass. Not really much to see there until you get something in this system. Obviously with that side panel, it is extremely dark. So it's darker than most tempered glass side panels. So you don't really see a lot of kind of what's inside. It mostly illuminates the RGB that you're going to have in the system. And we are going to make this a nice, not rainbow puke. I hate rainbow puke RGB. Obviously with RGB, you can do whatever you like. So we're going to give it a nice color scheme, probably black and orange. We're probably going to go with kind of a Be Quiet theme. Don't tell Fractal. And yeah, because orange is kind of our color. That's the Will and Dad way, or the W&D Tech way. That's our color. So that's what we're going to go with. At least that's what I think I'm going to go with. So what we've got here, we've got a 120. It looks like a 140 fan actually. It might be a 140mm fan. Yes, they are. These are the Fractal Design Dynamic X2 GP14. So they are 140mm fans. Excellent, that's nice to see, better than the 120, so push a bit more air through and they will be quieter as well. Now, obviously full ATX, I think this will take E-ATX as well, but we'll verify that later, and if we find out, we'll put it up on the screen. You got your usual PCIe slots on the back there as well, and you've also got a vertical mount facility for this case as well. I don't think it comes with a riser cable. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. That's extra. Space for the power supply, and you've got a nice little bracket here which makes fitting the power supply very, very easy. Basically screw that onto your power supply first and then slide your power supply in and then screw that on. And on the right hand side there's basically just a panel. It's not glass. Some cases do, this one doesn't, and that's really all there is to see on that side. You've got vents there as well, so you've got vents both sides of the front panel, which is nice to see, rather than just on one side, which some cases I've seen has. Now you may have also noticed there's no vent on the top of the case. Well, the only vent that I can see for air to go in or out, normally fans at the top of the case are exhaust. That's normally how these things work. Heat rises, best to have the exhaust going out the top. The only vent here that I can see is on the back of the case. Now it's not too bad, but I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to cope with cooling, because well, obviously it's completely restricted and that's the only place it can go. Now whether that's going to cause any issues with air coming back in as it's being forced out, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take this side panel off now. Okay, so there we go. That's a very snug fit. Okie dokie, so we're moving on to the inside of the case now, as you can clearly see, and it looks like it will only take up to ATX size motherboards. There isn't the extra standoffs here because it's basically completely blocked by this area here, and it doesn't look like you can add extra ones because there just isn't enough motherboard tray space there. There's literally a filter on that side, or no, it's not a filter, sorry, it's a noise dampening pad on this side. We'll have a proper look at that in a minute as well. Anyways, so you've got your PSU shroud that covers the entire side of the chassis. Now, I think this entire bit here comes off where the drive caddies will go. Let's get a screwdriver and undo that because they are done up really tight. Just going to start those off. Hopefully I can do those by hand. Oh, wow. They were really done tight. Okay, now I can do them by hand. So this just kind of comes off like that. We're going to carefully keep that out of the way. So here we've got the entire side of where the drives will go. Obviously this doesn't take any CD-ROM drives. I mean, who really uses CD-ROM drives much these days? I would love to know whether this actually comes out. I would hope it does. It looks like it does. There's 2 screws up here, so we can completely remove that from there. Nice metal trays. There's 4 metal trays in there. Tell you what, I'm going to bring the camera in a bit closer. Okay, so we've moved some of the lights, so hopefully you can see. So these are the metal trays that I was talking about a moment ago. Nice and sturdy for storing drives of any description. Obviously you can move these up and down. You've got all these slots here where you can position them if you wanted to. This whole entire tray comes out, as I've just said. There's screws here and over here, and then you've probably got screws down the bottom as well where you can remove that. So you've got your ATX motherboard space there. You've got some nice rubber grommets here and here and here, and even at the top. Down here it looks like you can mount SSDs of some description or small 3.5-inch drives. You've got some holes here, here as well, or it could actually be for the vertical GPU mount which goes here. So I suspect these 2 holes here and here are for the vertical mount, and then you've got some extra holes here with little clippy things here for the 3.5-inch drive. I suspect they probably only use 1 screw for those because obviously with SSDs as they are now, well, there's no moving parts. You don't need more than 1 screw really. Let's just show you the air vent gap here that I was talking about earlier. It's quite a big gap and it is filtered. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see that much. I'll try and take the front panel off. That's quite a big gap on the front. How that's going to cope with airflow, I don't really know. As I said, we will get a proper look, and when we build this thing, we'll know for sure how these thermals are going to cope, how the fans are going to cope. These fans, we're going to swap these out anyway, because we're going to put some RGB ones in there and use our own color scheme. And there's another 2 in the front over here. Hopefully you can see them, one over there. And there should be another one in there somewhere. Yeah, somewhere down there. So we've got 3 fans in total, which is always nice to see. So that's that side. Let's spin this thing around and see what it's like on the other side. So I've got the side panel off on the right hand side, as you can see. But one thing I want to point out on these side panels is they have a type of some sort of material. This is soundproofing, and I don't think it comes off. I don't think there's another side panel for this side where it doesn't have this, but then if it's on there, you would probably want to leave it on there because it will help reduce the noise. The other thing is it was quite hard to pull off, probably because it's new, but you've got these things here and they kind of push into the case, the push to fit type. And then on the other side, it just kind of slots in as standard case side panels do. But this was a little bit difficult to pull out, so I just thought I'd point that out. Be aware when you take yours off, they feel like they're stuck. You just got to pull quite hard to get these out. So here we've got a fan controller. I don't know if this is RGB as well. I suspect it's only fan. So you've got 6 3-pin fan headers there, and you've got 3 PWM controlled fans there. This is all controlled by a SATA power connector, which is really also good to see as well. And also cable tidied with Velcro straps. Very nice. Cable tidying. This is going to be a dream, I tell you. So yeah, just connects by a single PWM header there. That's is it 4-pin? Yes, it is 4-pin. So although we've got two connections there, it actually goes to the same connection there. So that single port powers all those 6 of those standard DC fans, and then you've got the 3 PWM fans for that as well. So that single connection does all of that. These are the drive caddies that I was talking about. They're really, really rigid, held in by 1 screw here. And you just, oh, these are really tight. Should better do that with my hands now. Right, here we go. And just pull it out like that. And you can position those wherever you want. So if you wanted it there, we'll just pop it back into that position. Slot it in like that. And do it back up. Also here we've got the front panel connections there. Looks like we've got a RGB connector there as well. I guess that's for the front RGB that I was talking about earlier. USB-C, USB 3 type C there. That's a nice connection. And the old ugly blue USB 3.0 connector there. And obviously power button and reset button there. And all that good stuff. So you've got 2 spaces for SSDs there, 2.5-inch drives there. Now I think there's probably spares in there, but it's the same type that you can use to go on the PSU shroud on the other side that I was showing you earlier in the video. And obviously you've got huge amounts of storage capability here as well. Now this PC system is going to be built with kind of video editing in mind. Whoever wins it, hopefully they put it to some good use and not only use it as a gaming machine, but as a production machine of some description, because we would like someone else to benefit from this. Obviously, we're not keeping it. It's going to go to someone else. Yeah, it would be nice that it goes to someone that would love to get into maybe editing and things like that, because the capabilities that this thing has with storage, at least, is well, it's immense. I mean, look how much storage you can get in there. So I need to correct myself in what I said earlier. It will take up to E-ATX as long as it's not more than 285 millimeters wide. So anything from E-ATX and down, it will take quite happily. Only ATX PSUs it will take. Graphics cards up to 440 mil in length. I'd imagine that's probably without that in place. CPU coolers up to 185 millimeters tall. So that's from that side to the panel of the glass on this side. So it'll take up to a 360 millimeter rad on the front or on the top of the case. On the rear, obviously you can go up to a 120 mil radiator on the back if you so choose to, and you can have a radiator on the bottom as well, apparently. 240 or a 280 mil radiator mounted under here as well. I would imagine this actually comes off so you can mount that inside with ease, because otherwise that's going to be a bit of a problem. Well, that looks like that's riveted in, so you probably screw it in from underneath. There is a dust tray on the bottom as well. So that's kind of everything that it really supports. I'll put in the description down below as well, so you can have a look in your own time. But let's have a quick look at the accessory box. Ooh, here we go. This thing is blimmin' huge. Right, let's get this open. As I thought earlier, stay open, stay open. We've got the tray that goes along the top there, so you can mount your radiator on the top of the case. Ooh, move up, camera. So this is the tray that goes along the top, and obviously that can be fitted with a radiator up to 360. And here we have the panel, if I can see. So here we've got the panel which will replace this, not that, this here. So this can come off and we can put this one on. Let's take it out of the bag, carefully not to scratch it. So that will sit up there like that. Obviously we'll take the glass panel off. And if you wanted a proper bit of airflow to come out from the top of the case, you do have that, and that does come with it, which is really good to see. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that fits on. It looks like it slots in and then it just pushes in. So it probably pulls back and then lifts up. So we could replace that if we wanted an airflow orientated case, which we probably will. We probably will go with that. and maybe illuminate it from underneath. That'll be quite a nice look, but we'll see how it goes with the radiator fans on there as well. But we've got that choice if we want to, or we can stick with the glass panel. I suspect we're gonna use that one, probably. Give it a good amount of exhaust there. And obviously we've got a filter to go with the top as well if we want that as an intake, but I probably won't put that on. They can use that. Whoever wins this computer when it's given away can do what they like with that. But you only really need a filter for intake. And let's have a look, see how fine. Let's open that. So this is one of the filters, and that's quite small, small holes there, but I think that's probably good for airflow and without letting too much dust in. As you can see, very nice. So that will sit on the top if you were going to have that as intake, but we're not. And that is pretty much that. Let's close that back up. It doesn't look like there's anything else in there. So, oh, wait a minute. Hold off the phone. I've never done this one-handed before, so I do apologize for the really shoddy camera work. But I am trying to do this on my own today. Or tonight in UK time. It's actually quite late. So what do we got in here? Open sesame. Okay, so we've got a cleaning cloth like the kind you get when you clean your HMD lenses or glasses. Okay, fair enough. Ah, handy. They tell you exactly what's in the box. Extra screws are always good to see there. And some standoffs as well, by the looks of that. And a couple of grommets there for hard drive anti-vibration mounts there for sort of spinning discs. That one, and we've got some cable ties as well. 6 cable ties. Generous. 6 is better than none. So here we go, this is it. And it looks like we've got SATA. Looks like the RGB controllers. Let's have a look at the RGB controller, shall we? Oh my god, this thing is tiny. Look at this. So this is the RGB controller powered by SATA. Ah, right, okay. So the 3-pin RGB header that we were looking at from the front panel connections on the back side of the case, that will go in there, and then that will plug into, this will power the RGB on the case, and then obviously you can control the RGB goodness with the buttons on here. Looks like it's got a couple of modes there, brightness, color mode, and maybe preset mode there. All very fancy dancy, nice. Okay, one more thing before we close the video, I promise. This is the 360 rad that has been sent over to us by the lovely folk over at E-ATX. Ooh, what is that? What is this? Some sort of bag? I don't know, but it looks cool. And, oh, hello. Oh, here we go. So, do you know what? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the main thing I wanted to look at. In here is the cooler that we're going to be using for the CPU in this build. Get out of the way. So they don't send fans because they don't do the fans. They make the coolers. A nice 360 millimeter rad. So 3 fans, 1, 2, 3 fans of goodness. And I don't know how deep that is. Not entirely sure. If I can find out, I'll put it on the screen now. If not, there'll be nothing. And it's got the standard E-ATX pump there to go along with it. Now you may have seen the previous video that we did, kind of talking about how this wasn't fitting on our particular system. We're still having a few issues with that, and replacement CPU for that build. So if you haven't checked that out, go and watch that. It doesn't specifically blame the E-ATX pump, not the pump, the design, but we found a bit of weirdness in that the pre-applied thermal paste, as you can see there, it's brand spanking new. It's not even been used. That's reflection on there, by the way, if it looks a bit odd. It didn't make contact with the CPU properly. I suggest you go and check that out. And always, I honestly, I don't normally use the pre-applied thermal paste here. I did in this instance, and I kind of wish I hadn't now. But we don't really know for sure whether not this, but the E-ATX pump that we were using for that particular build was the cause of it. We don't know. It's gone back to AMD. The CPU's gone back to AMD for you know, to have it checked over to see what actually killed it, because it doesn't work. Go and watch the video anyway, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyway, we love the guys at Ace-Tech. They were very, very helpful in helping us diagnose what the problem might have been. And yeah, I think I'm with them on that. There's some other issue going on there, that it wasn't anything to do with the pump, the cooler that we were using. So yeah, we're using the Ace-Tech pump on this build. And as I've said, let's kick that out of the way. It's probably going to go, I don't know which way around yet. Don't say tubes down. Don't say tubes down. I don't know whether it's going to go that way round. Obviously, probably like that. I don't know. Or whether we are going to put it on the front. I don't really know. I don't really know what we're going to do yet. So yeah, give us your suggestions down below. I would probably have that on top actually, because I'm going to change that for the vent, the air cooling type filter on there. No filter in this case. I'm going to change that out for the grill and leave this as intake, and probably just leave that as outlet with these on it. I think I'll probably do that actually. Being a small channel, we don't have access to huge amount of parts, and we're extremely lucky to get this from eBuyers, so I suggest you go down below and check out the links. They've got all sorts of cases on there. This one in particular is, it just caught my eye because it's a little bit different. It's got this kind of edged bit here. It's not curved, it's kind of straight lines. Kind of like, I mean, if it was silver, it would probably be the Cybertruck. So Cybertruck look. Should we do that? So that's about it. That's the end of our video. If you like this video, maybe give it a comment down below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked any of this kind of stuff. And we will definitely be showing how we're going to be building in this soon. So if you've got any suggestions, yeah, give us a comment down below. And we will see you in the next video.